Hello, Steve Sipress here with Success Story Saturday, May 27th, 2017. And in case you haven't heard, the famed Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus closed its door after a 146-year run about a week ago. So what better time to tell a little bit about the story and share some of the fun and the excitement and the fantastic business advice and model that one of those people was not one of the Ringling Brothers and not James Bailey. James Bailey's partner, Barnum, P.T. Phineas Taylor Barnum, who lived during the 19th century. And as people, maybe he's most famous for the circus, although did you know he did not start the circus till he was 60 years old? So for those of us that are a little long in the tooth, had my 57th birthday a couple of days ago. So you're never too old to get started, although he technically started that circus only after his famed museum in New York City, full of all kinds of exhibits from around the world and all kinds of what he would call humbugs, hoaxes. He always said the people love to be humbugged, they love to be hoaxed, they just love to fall. And are we any different nowadays? Which is one of the lessons from P.T. Barnum. But that museum got burned to the ground, and then he started it back up again, and then it burned to the ground again. And only then did he take the show on the road and team up with Bailey and make the Barnum and Bailey Circus that I was going to say lives on to this day, but closed about a week ago. Forgot to share. One of the facts of P.T. Barnum is during the circus, he brought one of the elephants, the largest elephant in the world, that he named Jumbo. And Jumbo is part of the vernacular today. It's accepted as part of the word in the dictionary, means huge, humongous. But it comes from P.T. Barnum naming his elephant Jumbo. And so you have, Jumbo Jet and Jumbo Size and Jumbo whatever. That goes back to P.T. Barnum's famed elephant Jumbo, which, by the way, I saw the actual Jumbo because after his untimely death of being smashed into by a freight train or something, about the only thing I guess could kill Jumbo, the huge elephant, Barnum had him stuffed and donated him to a college known as Tufts University in Medford, Massachusetts, where my cousin Fred went to school, and I went to visit him in 1974 when he was a student there, and I stayed overnight for a couple of days. And of course, big centerpiece of the campus. I mean, that's the nickname of their sports teams, the Tufts Jumbos, and there was Jumbo the elephant. And only a few months later, after I saw him, did he burn up in some mishap fire, and so Jumbo is gone, but I did get to see the original Jumbo. So that reminds me to share my rhino of the day, and I have to kind of back up and kind of go out of the camera for a second, because in honor of P.T. Barnum and Jumbo the elephant, I'm sharing the largest rhino, the most jumbo size, let's say, in honor of P.T. Barnum, rhino that I have in my collection. And you're thinking, wow, I've shown some rhinos that are kind of like small, maybe they're big, so, is it this big? Is it that big? Is it this big? Is it that big? No. Ready? It's this big. It is humongous. It is jumbo size. And it is from the Great Six Flags, Great Adventure, Great America, whatever theme park in Gurnee, Illinois. And this is a humongous orange rhino, largest rhino in my collection. A plush stuffed rhino. There he is, humongous, jumbo, you might say, in honor of Success Story Saturday in P.T. Barnum. So, see how much fun we're having also in honor of P.T. Barnum. Dog is here. Speaking of fun, Dog, a professional comedian. So if anyone knows how to have fun, Dog, see, the tables are turned now. You're probably laughing at me for my hilarious attempt at having some fun and humor here on the Success Story Saturday. So I highly urge you to pick up a book that is ideally for the 13% of us who are small business owners, and hopefully that's you if you're watching my video. And it's by Joe Vitale, and it's called There's a Customer Born Every Minute. Business lessons from the fabulous P.T. Barnum. I mean, this guy, started those museums and the circus, but he was a fantastic promoter. If you look up Jenny Lind, he took this almost unknown opera singer from Europe, brought her across to America, and made like $500,000, which back in those days, I mean, today that would be multiple millions of dollars from promoting her, made her a household name. So that was like predecessor to what's the guy on the American Idol show, right? He found somebody and he was a consummate promoter, made her a star. He had, of course, all his crazy hoaxes and side shows and things like that he did. He was a politician. He ran for office later in life. He's from Connecticut. He ran for office. He became mayor of Bridgeport, Connecticut, where the Barnum Museum is to this day. And I had a business right nearby, and I got a chance to go visit that, one of my door-to-door sales locations right nearby in Milford, Connecticut. And so that was fun to go to the Barnum Museum in Bridgeport. By the way, Bridgeport used to be a fantastic, affluent city back in the Barnum days, over 100 and something years ago. Now, be careful, especially after dark. You might not want to be there. It's a very low-income, dangerous kind of place to be late at night, especially. Anyway, I digress. Barnum also was a member of the Connecticut state legislature, and he failed in a run for Congress. That's as far as he went. So you can see he made the mistake that Donald Trump did not duplicate. Trump said, I'm not running for mayor of some city or some state legislator or Congress, any of that crap. I'm going to start right at the top, and I'm just going to do it. And maybe if Barnum had run just for president, then you might not have said Trump is the first, non-politician we have as a president or whatever. But I digress a little bit again. Barnum also had a lot of things in common with the rest of us entrepreneurs. He started as an entrepreneur as a very young kid, and by the time I think he was 12 years old, he already was buying his own cattle, or whatever. He was actually, a full-fledged business owner, and by the time he was like 15 or 16 years old, he had several businesses and was an extremely successful entrepreneur, and then he lived another, 50-something years doing all kinds of things, all kinds of successful things. So I highly recommend you get this book. Oh, there's a customer born every minute. That is a play on what people think is the most famous thing P.T. Barnum ever said about his own sideshows and his hoaxes and what he called his humbugs that he loved to promote and get everyone to go see the bearded this and the tallest that and Tom Thumb, the shortest guy on earth, and on the oldest and the youngest and the bearded lady and all that stuff. The saying, there's a sucker born every minute. Here's the deal, P.T. Barnum never said that, okay? And neither, hopefully, do you as a business owner, okay? No matter how much expert persuasion, sales, marketing, advertising, strategies, tactics, systems you use, and certainly if you're one of my clients, you use a lot of them, and you use them, they work really well, but I would never think of calling any client or patient or a member or anyone's customer a sucker. It would be ridiculous, no matter how persuasive my stuff is. And Barnum never did either. So that line is attributed probably to his competitors, who looked at the long lines for what pretty much everyone kind of knew. Come on now, that can't be a real half monkey, half, it was a monkey mermaid thing. The half monkey sewed a fish, bottom of a fish onto a monkey or something. Like, okay, this is kind of a hoax, and yet they're standing in line to give him their money anyway. And then there was all kinds of things about how you couldn't even get out of his museum. There was like the door said exit, it just went into another room, or whatever. Or maybe the door said go to another room, but it was the exit, and you had to go outside and pay again to come in, or whatever it was. I mean, he did all kinds of fun and crazy stuff, but he did not say there's a sucker born every minute. And so the book is also not titled that. It's titled There's a Customer Born Every Minute. It's by Joe Vitale, and he wrote it about 20 years ago, and then he did an updated version about 10 years ago. And I had the original version. I gave it away when I moved, along with about 1,000 other books, so I don't have it here to show you, but my copy was definitely dog-eared, underlined, earmarked, you name it. So many. In fact, I ought to probably just go get another copy. It's got so much great stuff in there, and I'll bet you can read it over and over and over and always come up with a new idea, something you can implement in your business. So that's it for Success Story Saturday. I suggest you take it further and look up some of the things about P.T. Barnum. This guy was an amazing promoter, an amazing marketer, an amazing salesperson, pioneer in several different areas, consummate businessman, entrepreneur from an early age until the day of his death, and affected so many people, and was so well known. And even to this day, or a week ago, with the circus closing his doors, still the name Barnum is still well known all around the world, and I think always will be. So there you go, entrepreneurs. Now, do we all have to be known all worldwide? Of course not. But isn't it great to celebrate the success of a fellow entrepreneur that became a worldwide phenomenon lasting well over 100 years after his death, and will still go on, especially since Joe Vitale wrote that book and others do. And gee, I wonder have there even been movies made about him. Anyway, so that's it for today. Let's go to the questions. Hey, Merle, good seeing you again. Jer Dog, thanks for being here. I don't see any questions, comments, concern. If you have them, you ever do, put them in the comments or email me, steve@stevesipress.com. Send me a Facebook message, whatever you want to do. And join me again tomorrow for Sunday Fun Day. And if you think today, my little attempt at showing you my obnoxiously humongous jumbo rhino of the day was a little bit of fun, tomorrow being Sunday Fun Day, we're going to have even some more fun then. And I hope to see you there. Have a great night.